It's important to note that trapping alone will not solve the mouse problem. For that, you must ultimately eliminate the conditions that led to the mouse problem in the first place. This often includes removing clutter from the affected area, sealing off mouse entry points, and eliminating food and water sources. To learn more about all of those tactics, please see the other videos in this series. Trapping is useful, however, as a way to begin controlling your mouse population. It is also preferable to using chemical baits and rodenticides for several reasons. First, trapping is more convenient. Trapped mice remain in one location and can easily be removed from the premises, whereas mice that are poisoned by baits often crawl into wall voids or other inaccessible areas before they die. This creates difficult and unpleasant problems later on.
A mouse, a rodent, a rat, anything eats that stuff, it'll kill it, but where's it going to die? Now you have it crawled back into a wall void, it dies in there. Now you have a decomposition or decaying animal in there, and as that does, it's giving off not only different types of gases, but it's drawing other insects, other parasites in the wall, carpet beetles, things of that nature that will live off that carcass. And plus, now you got the smell of it. So we always believe in using traps on anything on the inside of your home, especially because then if you trap it, it's there. You see it, you pick the trap up, you properly dispose of the carcass, and at that time you either reuse the trap or, in your judgment, get rid of it.
Second, rodenticides commonly cause harm to other animals and sometimes even humans. Pets or desirable wildlife, including many birds, can be poisoned indirectly by consuming mice and other rodents that have been killed by chemical rodenticides. In fact, this happens frequently enough that the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is taking steps to cancel registration for a number of common rodenticides. Finally, traps can be more economical than rodenticides because they can be reused if proper care is taken. Live traps can be effectively and humanely used to control mice, and NCAP urges the use of humane methods whenever possible. However, we also realize that due to the extra time and attention that live traps require, many facilities employ snap traps out of necessity. For that reason, this video focuses on the proper use of snap traps. Traps should be placed overnight along the routes mice travel. Since mice travel along roughly the same path each night, usually along baseboards or right where the wall meets the floor, it is best to place traps directly against the bottom of the wall and oriented so that the trap bar will swing toward the wall when triggered. Mice are fairly curious and may be trapped easily the first time that traps are laid. However, they will soon become cautious. The best way to maximize trap effectiveness is to set many traps the first night, up to 6 per mouse, spaced 3 to 5 feet apart. Follow this routine by setting the traps again 1 week later, but in slightly different locations. Following this process will help to ensure that you reduce the overall population instead of just catching a few young mice each night. There are many styles of snap traps and equally diverse theories on which brand or style works best. Plastic snap traps are generally more durable and can be cleaned more easily than wooden traps, making them easier to reuse. Despite common myths, there's no one favorite bait for mouse traps. Mice are opportunists and will sample most food odors they bump into.
On traps, if the good old-fashioned peanut butter, our company doesn't use it because there's so many peanut butter allergies out there. We use chocolate syrup, cake frosting, anything that will attract them. Honey will work fine. Jellies are fantastic for mice. Sometimes they may not be looking for food, they may be looking for nesting materials. If you don't get them with what we've already talked about, try tying a cotton ball on the trigger with dental floss. And why do you use dental floss? It's much stronger than thread. So at that point, if that's what they're looking for, and you come back the next day and you got 5 cotton balls on there and you have 5 mice, guess what? They're looking for nesting materials. So if they're not hitting the traps, just change what you're looking for or what they may be looking for, and you should get your captures going.
It makes sense to practice good safety measures when handling dead rodents in traps and/or cleaning up. Precautions when handling dead rodents are: wear disposable rubber or plastic gloves. Spray the dead mouse and any trap with disinfectant until wet. turn a Ziploc bag inside out. With a hand inside the bag, pick up the rodent and the trap. Invert the bag over your hand, drop the mouse and trap into the bag and seal it. Wash any blood, urine stains, and feces with soap and water. Spray the area where the trap or the dead mouse was laying with a light spray of disinfectant and let dry. Dispose of the bag and gloves in a dumpster or a garbage can. Wash hands with soap and water. Here are some things to keep in mind when cleaning up small amounts of rodent droppings. First, feces should not be swept up or vacuumed because this can cause the excrement residues to become airborne and inhaled. Wear rubber or plastic gloves. Spray the droppings in the affected area with disinfectant until wet. Then, use a wet paper towel to pick up the disinfected droppings. Place the droppings in the paper towel into a Ziploc bag and seal the bag. Then, dispose of the bag and the gloves in a dumpster or a garbage can. Following this, wash your hands with soap and water. For employees wishing to maximize personal protection and/or when removing rodent feces in enclosed spaces, and where a large amount of rodent feces are present, coveralls and a respirator with a HEPA P100 filter should be worn.